If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
This podcast is brought to us by International Horse College. Horse welfare and safety are of utmost importance to us at International Horse College, which is why we've included them in our values statement. With their wide variety of horse courses, we utilise methods that promote safe and humane methods of interaction between horses and humans, supporting only safe methods of educating riders, handlers and trainers about horse welfare. Have a look now at the online horse courses at internationalhorsecollege.com. Today's guest is Sam Kruijer. Sam has got a personal quote that I liked. A horse can only answer a question. You need to understand what the question really is, because what you think you ask for and what you physically ask for can be two different things. And we need to learn to marry our thoughts and our physical capabilities. So I think that quote sort of fairly much explains Sam and what she's doing. She's training the horse as part of their holistic well-being. How are you today, Sam?
I'm very well, Glenys, and how are you? And thank you very much for having me on your Horse Chat podcast.
Oh, that's okay, Sam. Oh, well, I think we're lucky to have you here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you. Now, Sam, I'm going to ask you about your favourite quote, but I may have just said it. Can you talk to us about it?
Yeah, so for me, I'm right into watching how a rider affects a horse. And so therefore, when people are asking a horse to do something, for example, it could be a canter transition, and all their weight in this is in one stirrup and they're struggling to pick up the feet. It's rotated the wrong way. The weight's distributed wrong. And you often find the horse will answer that question. But instead of it getting the left lead, it picks up right lead because body is asked for right lead. Even mentally, the rider wants left lead. And therefore, they need to understand how the body affects the horse, and the horse will always answer the physical question first. And once we learn how to marry our physical body to our mental thoughts, that is when riding really becomes quite harmonious, and you can actually ask the horse from thought alone, because the body, when you actually have thought, you have a resonance through your body, and your body already knows how to answer that question. It's a matter of understanding that you know what it is you're doing, and that those thoughts and the physical body are married up. And so once people understand where their crookedness is, their weight distribution is, they often then understand more about staying in balance and helping the horse out, instead of getting frustrated that the horse only ever picks up one lead. It doesn't matter how one side of the horse is, humans are the same, and if we can correct the humans, it's easier to correct the horse.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, and I do see that often, that the rider wants the horse to go, but then holds them. Can you go faster, but they're holding them at the same time. So marrying the two, very important. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And that's also then when it crosses into emotion. And one of my other things is you can't afford to get emotionally involved. And I'm not saying don't love your horse, because we all love our horse, but when you ride through emotion, whether it be fear, anger, or joy, you're not in the moment, you're not focused or elsewhere. And the horses need you to be present and in the moment.
Yep. Now, Sam, I want to talk to you about, the whole holistic. I'm not going to ask you about how you started with horses, but how did you start with the idea that training horses or working with horses, or they're holistic rather than just sort of separated? Because you are a coach and a trainer, and it's really important then that it all comes together and it is holistic. How did you start with that?
Well, for me, it's been a very personal journey. I am a fully qualified vet nurse, and I used to watch a lot of the animals coming in and looking at the effects of the chemical drugs. And I used to think, I actually know a herb would help that, and I know that something would help that. And I started doing some research, and my whole study, even when I did my associate diploma in applied science, was all orientated around horses and holistically helping them. So it drove my lecturers crazy, because I always go for your alternative approach. And then throughout my life, I've been drawn to alternative methods. I learned how to do Bowen therapy. I qualified homeopath. I've always been interested in energy and essences. So anything, like your essential oils or anything in that direction, I try and always do things holistically. And so that just carried through into my training techniques. And so therefore then I did a lot with the T-Touch, Belinda Clinton-Jones. I started going down that pathway, and then the natural horsemanship started through, and I learned a lot through Darryl Crow. And then just the whole belief system just started to grow and develop from everything that I'd learned through my personal life and using that and utilising that with horses. I've always been a little bit out there. A lot of people call me the white and I've also got something that they could relate to or use or utilise with their horses, which is different to conventional methods.
Okay. I'm just thinking, obviously you've got to have an open mind to have this whole approach. What other things do you think that people need to have if they're going to work with horses and work in the horse industry besides an open mind?
Passion. And whatever drives you. The passion is horses, but you've then got to find what is driving tool behind that passion. And as I said, it is horses, but it can also be the love of horses or wanting to do it better. And that's another one of my sayings. I always say, don't try, just do it better. Just do it better than what you did yesterday. Just don't put too much try into it. Just do it better. And always be open and always look for other areas or other facets that can help you do it better, because there are a lot of answers out there that people can start to look for. And it's just a matter of being open to that and allowing that. And I think once you are open to it, a lot of answers just come. And a lot of people walk into your life that are that way as well. And that's what I've found.
Okay. You sort of talked about a couple of people that have influenced you, but I'm thinking horses. If you've got a horse that, I'm sure you've got one in mind the way you said that, but tell us about a horse that might have influenced you and influenced your choices that you make, helped you in your career, done something that's really touched you.
My previous horse that passed away 3 years ago, he was one that really opened the doors with me. He was a beautiful busting, and he really allowed me to grow and develop and learn so much more about being alternative and being holistic and being open-minded. And he was the one that I did everything from T-Touch to horsemanship, to dressage, to a little bit of event, to riding him bridleless, to liberty work, to hacking him out. I used to pick the kids up from primary school and lead the pony and the 15-hand Anglo-Arab off him on a busy road, go and pick the kids up and bring them home. And I could just do anything with him. And he, whatever I asked him to do, he would always challenge me and help me grow. He definitely pushed me into those directions and those areas. And he's one horse that he definitely was the backbone of my growth. He's no longer with me now, but I do definitely feel his resonating essence around me a lot, and I'm forever thankful for what he has done for me in my growth as a horse person.
Now, thinking about the whole holistic training is more modern. It's more of a modern idea, okay? And putting it out there and teaching people and having an opinion and everything else. Have you come across any challenges about having more of an open mind? Someone that may have been going down one path and you said, well, what about we sort of look at this and, relate one thing to the other? Has anyone sort of challenged you on that? Because I'd like to know how you overcame it as well.
I've been frequently challenged throughout my years with where I've wanted to go with my horses, constantly challenged with that. And pretty much for me, another thing I always say to people when they come is, if you want to learn how to ride, then maybe not in the right place. But if you want to learn how to ride and learn more about your life and how you affect your horse and everyone around you, and you want to improve and be a better person so that everyone around you can be in a better place, then you're in the right place. But if it's just about blue ribbon and you just want to ride, then maybe it's not the right place. But for me, I find blue ribbon days happen every day. Every time you have a win, and it could be just you've got your horse to go straight. That's a blue ribbon day. You've got your horse to stay soft, to not get distracted. They're all blue ribbon days. So it's just all depends on where that person's at. And I've found that people tend to find me. They tend to find me, and I've had a lot of people within my life that I've taught over the years who have no longer, stayed with horses, but they're still very good friends, or they get another horse and they end up coming back. And the funny thing is I've actually had horses that have moved on from owners and they've ended up coming back to me with their new owner, and it could be their second owner from the previous. Wow. And they had no idea that I used to teach the previous owner 2 owners ago with that horse. So I find that quite amazing. So there's always changes, but I usually find now at the stage of life that I just say it now and still either love who I do or I don't, and I'm okay with that. That's okay. Because everyone has an opinion, everyone's allowed to have a choice.
Yep. So say if you've got a new rider come in, and I'm sure that you've had quite a few new riders, few new horses come in, you haven't seen them before, and thinking about, the last 10 or, or just tell us a little bit about common faults that you might see with the riders, the trainers, the handlers, whatever, and how it can be fixed.
The biggest issue I see, number one, is crookedness and a rider not being aware of how to use their core, how to distribute their weight correctly and be balanced over the horse's back. And usually these are things that are very, very simple to work with, but a lot of people don't see it. Then the horse needs to be more around the leg, or the horse needs to be stronger into the flexion, or, use a lot of a stronger aid here, but they're not correcting where the question has gone wrong, and that's with the rider. So usually when I get a new rider, I just basically have them walk away from me and I'll have them change the rein, and then I call them in and I can say, okay, this is what I see and this is where I see you've had issues. I don't have to watch them trot. I don't have to watch them canter. I just have to see them walk, and I can pretty much pinpoint all the issues that they have had with their horse. And they turn around and go, well, why have I never been told that before? And I said, well, look, unfortunately not everyone has got such a tuned eye. Mm-hmm. And it's where it just all depends on where you're at, what you want to correct and how you want to go about it. So the biggest issue for me is rider crookedness. I send a lot of my riders off to chiropractors, whatever they like to work with, whether it be a physio or a myotherapist. Get their body right. I talk to them about diet, where they're at personally in their life. I actually, as I said in my email, I actually can pick up on a lot of pain from a rider. I can feel where their energy sensors aren't working properly. So I can usually pick up if they've actually got a lot of fear and grief within their life. I can also pick up where they're not at. I feel it in their breath, and I actually feel that in myself. And I'm now at a stage in life where I don't try and prove what I'm doing. I just say, look, this is where I'm feeling it. And no one ever goes, how do you do that? They just go, yeah, that's right. I'm feeling blocked there. And it just works very harmoniously. So I've learned not to question what I feel and what I pick up on. I just share. And then it's up to the person whether or not they give it a go, or they believe it to be true, or they're not happy with that. And I'm all okay with that. Usually I have people say, wow, never picked up on that, and you've given me more than what I've ever had in 5-10 lessons. So, I just really love that. But I love working with people who are open. Yes. People who come that are closed are very difficult. Yep. They don't often accept what I've got to offer. Mm-hmm. So that's different.
I think that's right across all education, isn't it? If you want to learn more, you've got to be prepared to drop your previous beliefs temporarily, yes. Embrace the new ones, and then once you've learned the new ones, you can look back and say, well, which one? Where can I follow that? But the thing is with horses, you think you've got one belief or one way to train, and then you come across a horse that's going to challenge that thinking, and go on, and you've got to go, I might just go back to that previous education or that lesson I had about 2 years ago where we did that certain thing. And yeah, for sure.
And I've actually just got a new client exactly with that. She's got a new horse and she has discovered and realised that the way that she has ridden in the past and the way that she has been taught in the past is not conducive to a very nice relationship with this horse. So she is searching and she has questioned me and she has found it very different and quite difficult because it's not how, she has been taught, but she's loving the response from her horse. And the fact that her horse is totally different tells her, I need to stick with this. This is something I need to learn how to do. So I'm very, very proud of her, and she is just learning so much. And that's what I love. I love watching people improve and understand more about themselves and how they affect everything in their life, whether it's a horse or the cat, their dog, their husband, their wife, their child, their relationships. I love watching them learn more about them so that they can be a better them. And that to me is makes my heart sing.
Good.
I love it.
Good. Sam, what are you looking forward to now? You've got some young horses, or you're planning on teaching a bit more, or, what have you got planned over the next 12 months or 2 years?
Well, I'm very lucky. I've got a gorgeous young stock horse, warm blood thoroughbred cross mare who has actually chosen me. It's a mare that we've bred. We've had a few issues with her from paddock injuries and whatever else, but this mare has stuck by me and she basically said, you're my next, you're my human, this is our journey. As I said, my boy Monty passed away and I was going to give it away. Mm-hmm. But she has absolutely hounded me. And now we're on a, probably quite an exciting journey together, and I'm hoping to get into the world of working equitation. I absolutely love it. I'm quite excited about the sport. I'm so looking forward to learning more and hopefully competing one day in the field of working equitation.
Yeah, look, go to horsechats.com because we've got a couple of people actually that have been involved in working equitation. It's a fairly new sport. So, I think if you can sort of go on there and have a quick look, and you'll find some people on there that can give you a bit more. And if you listen to them, just about the sport, even just a little bit about the history of the sport. Taryn Warren is one. She'll be on. She'll be on again soon, Taryn, and you'll be able to go from there.
I have listened to her, and I absolutely love the way she teaches.
Oh, good.
I love the way she teaches. I'm actually hoping to organise a clinic. I'm trying to bring her out.
With Taryn. She said she was coming out. Yeah.
Yes, I've touched base with her. So I'm hoping that all comes through.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right. That's great. And good that you're looking forward to it. But what about your philosophy? We've sort of talked about your philosophy, over the chat. But if you were going to summarise it, what would you say?
For me, it's all about understanding the horse so that your relationship with your horse can be much more as one. And it comes into the quote again, to be able to marry your mental thought and your emotions and your physical thoughts and your physical asking as one. So it's just understanding that the horses don't do things to annoy us. They can only tell us in the best way that they can. And it's understanding why they do what they do. They're not doing it to annoy us. They're not human in that response. And it's giving people those tools and that understanding and knowing that the horse isn't coming from a nasty place. And yes, some horses have got, aggressive behaviours, but again, it's usually because of something, or they've been taught to be that way. And so it's unraveling and understanding why that horse does what it does, and trying to prevent and overlay the behaviours and the habits so that horse can be better for that person.
Yep, that's great. Sam, just thinking, if people would like to contact you direct, what's the best way? What's the best contact details?
I am on Facebook, and they're more than welcome to private message me there. It's Sam Kruijer, Kruijer. Or feel free to contact me on my mobile, which is 0419 324043.
Okay, and those contact details will be at the bottom of your page, which will be horsechats.com/Sam Kruijer, or just go to horsechats.com and search for Sam, and you'll find those contact details at the bottom of her page. Sam, thank you for coming on. Thank you for having a chat. Thank you for, talking to us about your philosophy, holistic well-being. I think it's all sort of coming together, and best of luck with your working equitation, and hopefully we'll see you again on here soon.
That would be lovely, and thank you very much for having me, Glenys. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to everyone today, and I hope the people have enjoyed the podcast.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.